Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated.
This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight. Citing all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life never let him lie. Light is my far past his way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong. I am Ryan.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Josh.
As we get a little bit closer to Election Day, don't worry, this is not becoming a political podcast. But we wanted to, Josh, we already talked about this.
I did hours of policy research because I thought we were legitimately having a serious episode.
Is that a torts book on your desk?
Yeah.
Did you look up tax law?
I mean, this is tax law. I've got a full set of encyclopedias I purchased.
Encyclopedias.
They didn't really help me. Yeah, they didn't really help me in my research. Turns out it's a lot of stuff about other countries and history and all sorts of stuff. But I bought so many books for this because I was just trying to be prepared. I was trying to be wonky. I was trying to really know my policy because I thought we were getting into this election today.
No. Well, you know what? I'm going to let Joe explain this because this was his idea, a fantastic idea, and I think he's really done most of the research for this week.
Josh, I do appreciate your effort putting in this, but it was all for naught. So this was my idea. I don't know about the rest of you all. I'm over debates. I'm over town halls. I'm over getting text messages asking if I'm registered to vote or if I'm voting for specific people. I'm over getting mailers in the mail. I'm over commercials on TV, radio, in my dreams at night. I don't know. They're paying for airways everywhere we go. So I want to make sure we give you the way to decide the best person to vote when it comes to the president. Now, this has nothing to do with their policy and their political standings. My idea was to vote solely on if Joe Biden, the Democratic nominee, versus Donald Trump competed in the Olympic decathlon. That's right. It's time to figure out who has the will to win. 10 events, 2 days. Who will be the victor?
So we're getting more of some senior Olympics action going on.
Senior Olympic decathlon. That's actually right. Senior
Extremely
Olympic decathlon.
senior.
Well, I think this will actually be more interesting than all that research that I did because, I mean, just thinking about these two old men doing something this athletic is fascinating to me.
Oh, I don't know that I would call any of just what I've pictured in my head. I wouldn't refer to it as athletic in any way.
Well, I mean, everybody can be athletic. I mean, these old men can be athletic. You've certainly been athletic at some point, right, Joe?
Yeah, there was one time I fell down the stairs and I did a roll at the end. It was pretty athletic.
What?
No. That's your athletic claim to fame?
I think in baseball one time, the most athletic thing I did, and I don't think I even meant to do it now that I think about it, but it happened. Now there's two of them. Oh my goodness. One of them was I was running home, trying to steal home, and I'm quicker than I look. I'm a chubby kid. I've always been husky, but I'm quick. I'm a sprinter. I started to trip on my way from third to home and went in the air, and the opposing catcher went low and I went high, so it looks like I did this really acrobatic, where I dived over top of him. Mm-hmm. But really, I just fell. But luckily, I hit the plate before he got any kind of a tag on me, so it counted.
You did the old Toy Story falling with style situation.
And then the other time I tried to be athletic, but it was all for naught. We were playing a basketball game, and I slid after a ball as it was going out of bounds to slap it back in bounds. Well, I got to the ball and slapped it back in bounds, and I banged my knee against the metal bleachers in the process. Only to find out afterwards the ball was already out of bounds by about 2 feet when I hit it.
Oh,
so it was
that sounds
done.
about right.
We have established that you're clumsy, so that kind of fits the motif. Now, speaking of both politics and athletics, I once hurdled a guy at George W. Bush International Airport, so that's probably the most athletic thing I ever did.
Not only did you get to talk about being athletic, but you tied it into the president. That's a good pull right there.
Were you trying to get the Chili's to go?
I was not trying to get the Chili's to go. Listen, Now, I'm sure we'll talk about this at some point, and this has nothing to do with our debate, but the best restaurant on earth, if you're ever looking to get it, is at the Chicago O'Hare Airport in the Chili's 2. Not Chili's. I hate Chili's. I absolutely hate Chili's. But there's a specific Chili's 2 in the Chicago O'Hare Airport that's the best restaurant on earth. There's actually 2 Chili's 2. I'm talking about the original, the one that's in the dirtier part of the airport that's over near the McDonald's.
That dirty Chicago air.
You have to go there. It's a magical time. But anyways, I was coming from Cancun, Mexico into the George W. Bush International Airport, and we were late. So I had a real tight turnaround there, and we had to go through customs. And once I got through there, I had to grab my bag and I had to take off running. And when I did that, a guy went to pick up his bag right in front of me, and I had 2 choices. I could either absolutely destroy this man and ruin his day, or I could try to make the jump. And so I jumped, lifted my legs, barely cleared his head. My bag flew off the ground with me. I landed and I made my flight. And I think that's probably one of the most athletic things I've ever done.
So you were going to Cancun or coming from Cancun?
I was coming from Cancun. I mostly didn't want to stay in Houston because,
people in Houston don't want to stay in Houston.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm honestly extremely impressed because that is a spur of the moment athleticism. And I feel like those are the moments that really define athletic careers. I mean, if we're talking about most recently athletic thing that I've done, it honestly also might be a traveling story because last summer, Leah, my wife, and I came back from Europe, and we were literally moments away from missing our flight home, our very last flight. We are already into, I think, our 23rd hour of travel. And we are in Chicago, actually, and we have to get all the way across the airport. And I am literally sprinting down one of the terminals, and we ended up making the flight. But I mean, we were sprinting with backpacks and rolling bags. And I don't know if you've ever sprinted with a backpack, but it is not exactly the most attractive looking run.
You got to strap those things down tight.
Yeah, even then, it's it's banging, it's doing the rhythmic banging as you're stepping. But yeah, that most recently, I feel like travel athleticism is something that to behold.
That's the new sport that all the millennials are going for: travel athleticism.
The terminal hurdle.
Oh man. Okay, so speaking of athleticism, let's start out by giving a little history. First off, are you guys Olympic fans?
I love the Olympics.
Am a massive Olympic fan.
Do you prefer the summer or winter?
I appreciate both for all of the different things. I mean, probably my favorite event overall, period, is swimming. I feel like it's such especially the relays. The relay swimming is really good. I also really like the track and field.
I'm really disappointed you didn't say curling because that's the correct answer is curling.
Curling is not correct. I feel like that was a trendy pick in the last 10 years, and you're just trying to play to that hipster crowd, trying to pick a weird sport.
Well, let me step in there.
Biathlon is really awesome.
As TMIW's resident hipster, okay. I base my love for whichever Olympics solely based on the ancillary sports that occur. So summer, you have handball, water polo,
ping pong.
Ping pong. Things a lot. Is that actually an Olympic sport?
Yep.
Man, I must have missed that.
Not that much of a hipster.
You have those sports. And then in the winter, you have speed skating, curling. I do love
speed skating. Oh, I also love the jump, the ski jump.
Ski jump. And the great thing about those ancillary sports is that they always occur at the most inconvenient times, especially when the Olympics are overseas. So if I'm looking for the sport I can watch at 3 a.m. and love. And so that's curling, short track speed skating, and handball. So personally, I'd have to go with the Winter Olympics. Also, I love the Winter Olympics because they had a banging N64 game back in the day for the 98 version that I absolutely loved.
I don't think I knew that.
You should
I'm
go buy it.
I'm disappointed the Olympics did not happen this year. I sincerely hope they happen in 2021.
Well, we solved that problem today, Joe.
That's right.
All right. Well, we're going to give you all the Olympics of 2020. So just a little brief history. If you do not know what the decathlon is, actually, first, let's talk about our two competitors. I did some research. I'll tell you all a little bit about Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden, 77 years old, grew up in Wilmington, Delaware. It's a hotbed of athletic ability, Wilmington, Delaware is, let me tell you.
Well known.
He was a standout halfback at Archmere Academy. The team was a perennial loser until his senior year. He led them to an undefeated season and state championship.
Pretty good pedigree.
Played baseball as well, and he was a halfback for the University of Delaware Fightin' Blue Hens. Now, is that the worst mascot you've ever heard?
Listen, we're gonna have a worst mascot debate. That's
University
coming.
of Delaware is a heavy
'Cause I've had
favorite
thoughts.
with Fightin' Blue Hens.
That's a good one to throw in.
So he played halfback and then defensive back. Donald Trump is 74, so he's the younger of the two competitors, if that makes a difference.
Which is so shocking.
He's born in Queens. I couldn't find any history of sports in his background. I know he plays golf. He was enrolled by his father at age 13 into the New York Military Academy, which is apparently part of West Point. Shout out to my boss for letting me know that. I'm just assuming that if he went to military school, he had to do PT of some kind.
You would assume, at the very least, some intense marching.
I was going to say, even in middle school / high school, I feel like the New York Military Academy is going to have some sort of
something. So
yeah.
I feel like he has something to go back on. Now, he is an avid golfer. The real thing I think is going to put him over the edge. In 2015, Trump's personal physician claimed he was the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency.
I'm going to choose not to comment on that.
So that was only 4 years ago, guys. He was literally the healthiest person in the world.
5
years, excuse me. So
that's a long time. I was much healthier 5 years ago than I am now, approaching 30.
Also, there's a big difference between being 69, nice, and 74.
Can we just point out, I know people aren't local, but look at what 5 years has done to John Calipari. And
That's
he's
a good
not
point.
the president. So
For those who aren't aware, John Calipari is your Lexington translator, Josh Bally, is the head coach of the University of Kentucky men's basketball team, and much like a president, has aged exponentially every year he's been here, to the point now that he has gray hair and a gray beard and looks like, I don't know, the Godfather.
But if we're looking at comparisons, I mean, did Trump look that good 5 years ago?
I mean, there's lots of toner involved.
I didn't say he looked good. I said he was healthy.
Because like our previous president was, came in looking sexy and then, got a little gray, got a little wrinkled. But like
Ryan, he's not a horse. He's not a horse mascot. So you calm yourself down.
Listen, let's not get into that.
Not everybody can be a thoroughbred.
That's right.
Okay.
Or a thoroughblade.
So I've given you our two competitors. So it's Joe Biden versus Donald Trump.
In case you weren't aware.
Yes. Some background on the decathlon. It was developed in ancient Greece as a pentathlon competition over 2 days. It was then turned into 10 events over 2 days. This is known as the all-around championship. So I think if you are the decathlon winner in the Olympics, you are like the pinnacle of athletic ability.
So some interesting facts. I used to work for the University of Kentucky men's track team. So I actually worked with some decathletes, and I have to say from personal experience, these are some of the most athletic people I've ever met.
Ryan, were you coaching them, or how?
I was. It's a little bit hard to explain, but so there, this is not going to be interesting for the podcast, but I will tell you guys. Mm-hmm. I worked for a guy who was the athletic academic advisor. So they work with the students to make their schedules and stuff like that.
So you helped him with
I
academics.
Assisting him. Correct. I was
like a dork.
Exactly. I was like making sure they went to class and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yes. Anyway, so
Nerd.
A long time ago, they actually used to call the track and field events. It was called athletics. So we had one guy who worked with us who used to be a long distance runner, like a competitive runner, and he would always say that runners are the best athletes because they called it athletics, and we always used to make fun of him for that.
I kind of picture the original Olympics being this and Greco-Roman wrestling.
I 100% agree.
That's it.
Like when I picture the olden times Olympics, all of these events are what I picture in my brain. So I feel like picturing our presidential candidates in these situations can really give us a historical perspective.
This is what we're here for. We're here to help make you be an informed voter.
That's right.
A mailer is not going to give you this information. A debate's not going to give you this information.
Well, it would be something if a mailer gave you this information. Maybe we should invest in that.
I may read that. Okay, so it's broken down into 2 events, day 1 and day 2, and you can score up to 1,000 points for each event. Event 1, the 100-meter dash. Straight run, 100 meters, full sprint.
Here's what I think. I don't think we can spend, several minutes on each event, because I think there are going to be some that are pretty straight up and down. One person's going to win. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Joe Biden is going to easily beat Donald Trump in a straight up sprint. Donald Trump was having trouble walking up and down a ramp. Like, I just think Joe Biden is going to bust out the gate. But the real question is, how long do we think Joe Biden is going to take to run 100 meters? The 1,000 points is under 10.4 seconds.
I think you're on to something here. I think Joe Biden wins only on 2 conditions. This is the first event. My only fear is he tries too hard in his first event to get started and breaks a hip.
I 100% agree.
I think if they're close at the end, Trump may pull like a whatever and accidentally trip Joe Biden.
Now, in order to trip somebody, you have to keep up with them.
Well, so I'm thinking, I think because it's the first event.
So it would have to be out the gate he's trying to trip.
That's true. Well,
because in 3 steps, Joe's going to be ahead.
I think you're right about this. And he was a halfback, guys, for the Blue Hens.
Listen, even at 77, he moves. He has no trouble moving. I feel like we got to give this one to Joe, but we also have to decide points.
Do we think he can do it in less than 15 seconds?
I am looking at the current records for the Senior Olympics decathlon events.
All right.
So for men 75 to 79, which we'll group them both into because,
absolutely
close enough.
Close enough.
The fastest 100-meter sprint ever was in 2019 by Kenton Brown from Texas. And that was 13.4 seconds.
Okay, so I think we add 5 seconds to that at least.
Well, and he trained for this. I'm talking about taking Joe Biden and Donald Trump off their campaign trail tomorrow, putting them in an athletic stadium and going,
October
go.
20, whatever this comes out.
Here's something we are discounting. They're already pretty tired because they've spent about the last couple years already running for president.
That was the worst joke we have ever had on the show. No one laugh at that.
Boom.
If you
Come on.
Oh my gosh. Worst joke we've had on the show.
I hated it too, but it had to be said.
Well, it's not even accurate. Joe Biden has not been running for president for the past few years. He's been running for president for a year.
That's a good point. He's
not as tired.
More well rested.
He's well rested.
Question is, so it looks like on our decathlon thing, about 12, let's say 12 seconds, you get 600 points.
I think it's 18 seconds. That's the number I'm coming up with.
I think I agree. I think it's 18.6 or something. So what do we say? We give him 300 points?
Yeah, I think that's 300 if we're on the scale that we are.
I think Trump finishes but slows down because he starts jawing at Joe Biden halfway down. So 50 meters in, he just stops and starts yelling at him and then just gets up and goes.
All right, so we'll give him 100 points. Next.
Event 2, the long jump. Athletes combine speed, strength, and agility in an attempt to leap as far as possible from a takeoff point.
This is not the complicated triple jump. This is you sprint and you jump.
The complicated triple jump.
Triple jumps are complicated.
I'm going to be honest. A girl I knew in college was the triple jumper. She tried to teach me how to do it. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
It's
I
Josh
just
doesn't know what he's
fell
talking
every
about.
time. It's so hard
It's
to
so
time.
hard.
Okay. I think Trump wins this for the sole fact of he has a lot of mass to carry him as far as possible.
So your argument is inertia?
I don't know that that's how that works,
And
Joe.
also, I think Joe may break his hip on re-entry when he lands in that little sand pit.
Yeah.
That's a hard landing.
I was going to argue for Trump, but for a different reason. And I think that's because when you look at long jumpers, high jumpers, anybody that's jumping, they have some muscly legs. And Joe Biden's got some little chicken legs.
I would agree with that.
And I feel like even though Trump may not get the speed, I think he's going to get some power. And so I don't feel like Joe's going to be blowing the doors off, but I think this one will be very close. But I'm going to be honest. I agree with Joe. So can you convince us that
I vote Joe, Ryan votes Trump. Ryan votes Trump. Who do you vote, Josh?
I think it's going to be close, but what I think is going to be it's all going to come down to how they jump, because the thing about the long jump is you can contort your body in such a way that you can add a little bit of extra space. And the person with the longest legs is Joe Biden. So I honestly think this would be one of the closest ones for, I guess, inertia reasons, although I don't believe that that's how this would actually go down. But I also don't know that Joe Biden would be able to whip his legs out there and get that extra space. So I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to give the edge to Joe Biden. Now, I also looked up the Senior Olympics numbers for this event as well. And the record was done by James Stuckey of Maryland in 2005.
Shout out.
When he jumped 4.29 meters, which is apparently, when you convert it to the correct system of measuring, 14 feet 1 inch.
almost 14 feet?
That's a long way, boys.
I don't know that I could fall 14 feet and 1 inches down a hill. That's really far.
I think this is going to be one where neither of them are scoring very many points. I mean, if they get a meter, I think that's good.
How far do they jump?
I think I'm. It's not going to be much more than a meter. It's like 3 feet.
3 feet?
I was thinking 3.5 feet for Trump and 3 feet for Joe.
No, Joe Biden can absolutely get 3 feet, and I'm pretty sure Trump can too. I'm going to say, so the 10th place of all those was also James Stuckey at 13 feet. He lost a foot of jump in 2 years because it was 2007. So I'm thinking they both get about 5 to 6 feet. Is that a long way? It's been a while since I've jumped.
I mean, that's as tall as I am.
They can do that. They can do that.
This isn't like a broad jump though. We're not talking standing still.
No,
they're going to get some momentum. They're going to jump. So yeah, okay, 5-ish feet.
Yeah,
maybe 1.6 meters is what we're looking at.
Acceptable.
So neither of them are scoring any points. I mean, it's going to be like 70 points maybe.
It's where your feet land, right? That's where it stops. Or is it like if you reach out, the farthest you reach out?
So there's a lot of strategy in long jump because you can fall forward, but it is wherever you land. You don't get your forward like
Trump's also taller than Joe Biden, isn't he not?
Yes, he's actually pretty tall. I think he's like 6'3".
I'm going to say Trump makes it amazingly 2 meters.
Okay. Wow. I think Trump takes it, but it's not by many points.
So 700 points is 6.5 meters. I think Trump gets 20 points.
Yeah, I think Trump is 20 and Joe gets 5.
Perfect.
Okay. The next event is the shot put.
Okay.
Putting or pushing
boys,
a
I don't mean
large,
to interrupt our flow here, but I just got a text from Erica from the other room that I think I need to read on air because I deserve to be flogged. Shout out Erica. She's listening now and will listen later.
What's your current girlfriend?
Yes, my current girlfriend. She said that was bad and you should feel bad in reference to my joke about them running. And so I would like to apologize to our listeners right here and right now.
Well, I need you to text Erica back and tell her that you were immediately chastised by Ryan because he understands humor.
I was immediately chastised.
Yes.
This is hard-hitting radio right now, you all.
That's right.
Well, it's good that we're not making radio, Joe. I was immediately chastised by Ryan. He understands humor. Are you happy?
I'm happy. Okay, shot put.
The shot put is the next event. You throw a heavy spherical ball as far as possible. Now, there's no way that Biden
As opposed to
wins
what kind of ball, Joe?
I'm just reading the description I found on Wikipedia. Okay, leave me alone.
He is trying to make sure we have informed listeners.
How far do we think Trump can throw this?
I actually feel like this is going to be where Trump gets his points. I looked at these events ahead of time, and I was thinking before we started, this is the event that Trump gets gets like some points. Like I feel like he is going to be significant. Now, obviously, the shot put numbers on here are insane.
The lowest is 13 and a half meters. How heavy is this ball?
It's heavy. I think it's 11 pounds.
It's not light. I briefly attempted to throw shot put in high school because they were recruiting offensive linemen from the football team to do so because of our general girth and size, I suppose.
Hold on. I just tried to Google how heavy is, and I wrote how heavy is the shot put as I was going to do. The first thing that came up is how heavy is the fattest cat in the world.
I think that just says more about your Google trends than anything else.
I mean, I don't do a lot of cat searches, so I need to figure.
Now this podcast is about this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
complete that search.
Meow, the cat weighed 18 kilograms or 39.7 pounds.
That's actually not as much as I thought.
That's still a big boy.
Cat from Australia weighed 21 kilograms or 46.8
that's a lot.
pounds.
That's like a
My
8-year-old.
dog doesn't even weigh that much. That cat is fatter than my daughter. Wow. Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, let's not get into that.
Yes. Anyway, my daughter's not fat.
A shot put weighs 16 pounds for men. 16 pounds. Can you imagine throwing 16 pounds almost 40 feet?
No. I don't know that I could throw 16
I was
pounds.
Gonna say, I couldn't throw 16 pounds 40 feet. I mean, I don't know that I could get it 20 feet.
The just for perspective, looking at the National Senior Games Association men 75 to 79 shot put, the record is held by Gary Winters of Florida. In 2015, he threw a shot put 13.41 meters for 43 feet 11 inches. That's the record.
Okay, so we're talking half that, like 9 meters, which would be 27 feet. That's still insane.
I think Trump can throw it 6 meters.
I think that's fair. I think he's definitely going to get it further.
Yeah, I think Trump is winning this one significantly.
Do we think Joe Biden can get it past 2 meters?
Well, yeah, he can throw 15 pounds 6 feet.
Are you sure?
You could drop it and it would roll 6 feet.
Those do not roll. They land and thud.
He could roll it.
I don't think so. I think the whole point is you got to like put it in your neck. I don't know. Why do they put it in their neck?
Because they're spinning and they're getting momentum.
How does that help?
Don't you know how physics works?
No, actually, I don't.
I hated physics.
Do we think there's any like foul play here? Like, I also feel like maybe Trump like greases Joe's.
Or does Trump cork his
shot put? Yeah, he puts corks in it so it's lighter. Yeah, I feel like this is where Trump feels like he can for sure get a leg up.
I also feel like this is the event that Trump is most confident in. So as he walks up to do a shot put, there's chalk there, but he does the LeBron chalk spray right before the event starts, and then chokes on the chalk a little bit because he stands there too long.
And he uses a little bit too much.
Yeah, he picks a handful up and throws it like it's a cloud.
And also, I do need everyone to just picture the unitard that he's wearing, like the wrestling unitard, because I think that's what they wear.
Don't picture that.
Oh, yeah. You got that, and you got Trump with the shot put on his neck, and his hair flops back as he throws it.
We think he can throw it 6 meters?
Yeah, how many points do we think that is?
All right, so if you throw it 13 meters... that is worth 700 points. So half of that, I think he gets 200 points.
I think that's good.
Do you think Joe breaks 3 meters?
I think he gets 4 meters.
I think he's 3.6 meters. Somewhere between 9 and 12 feet.
I think he gets like 50 points then.
Yeah, I think 50 to 200.
He's barely making it out of that first ring.
All right. So that takes us to 3 events. Ryan, give us an update on where we are with the score here.
Okay. Currently, we have Joe Biden, Joseph Biden at 355 points. We have Donald J. Trump Jr. at 320 points.
Ooh. Neck and neck.
Through 3 events, very close. High jump.
The high jump. The next event is the high jump. My first question, do we think they can even jump high enough to make it on the pad they land on?
I think the pad is the goal. I think the pad is the goal.
On that pad. It is higher than you think it is.
I think it's like 5 feet.
Yes, it is up there. I don't know that they can even make it to the top of the pad.
I think the goal is the pad, and I don't think Trump makes it.
I don't think they try, but I don't think Biden can make it either.
I think Biden gets close, but he ends up on the edge and rolls off.
So I think they both get negative points for this because they don't complete the
I
event.
think they're both going to be in the negatives, and I think we're going to look at form. When it comes down to it, I think it's going to be form. And I think the Joe Biden athletic history, he knows how to do the jump. He just can't physically do it. So I think the judges give him a few more points. He's only like -10.
I also picture Trump
gets
being
frustrated that he can't do it.
Very confident after coming off the shot put. So he kind of pushes Biden out of the way and is like, I've got this. He runs and jumps, and it's like from Scooby-Doo when he jumps and he lands on his back. His feet go off from underneath him, and I don't think he even makes contact with the pad.
He just whiffs.
He just straight misses.
Where inertia helps you on the long jump, that's not coming into play here. So I agree with you both.
I think Trump takes negative 100 points here.
I was thinking the same. I think we're in agreement. I think this is less of a debate episode and more of a discussion episode.
This is us.
We're trying this out.
They need to have the will to win. We're debating two things, not each other. Now, I do think I would pay like pay-per-view money to watch these events.
Gosh. I would pay a pretty good amount of money to watch this happen. Now, obviously, this would be endangering some important people in our country, but would be very funny.
Oh, yes.
Once again, looking at the National Senior Games Association, how high did you think Biden was going to jump?
Maybe the 5 feet to get there.
All right. So men 75 to 79. The world record for the National Senior Games Association is held by James Blackwell of Kentucky.
Shout out.
Oh.
At 4 feet 7 inches.
Okay, so we were being pretty generous.
We are being very generous. Now, I think Trump's going to get no feet. Because if you don't clear the bar, I don't think you get anything.
No, I don't think he makes it on the pad. I don't know that Joe can clear the bar.
I think I'm sticking with our points. I think Joe gets to the bar, he hits the bar, and it's -10 points because he hits the bar, but he does get onto whatever he needs to. Trump, I don't think he gets to the bar. It's like Joe said, it's the Scooby-Doo fall, -100 points.
Let me ask you this. When Joe hits that bar, what does he say? Because I expect to hear, "Dadgummit."
Oh, certainly. It's got to be dadgummit.
I think you hit it. Dadgum, yeah.
Okay.
All right, the last event of day one.
400 meters sprint. This is a long sprint.
This is a quarter mile. I used to run this in middle school. Do we think either of these men can run 400 meters?
Without stopping? Absolutely not. I know Biden bikes, but biking and running are two different things. I can bike nonstop for however long.
So the shortest is 52.58 seconds. Let me ask you a question. Ryan, I know you could probably do it. Josh, do you think you could do it?
A 400 in one lap without stopping?
Yes.
I mean, it depends on how bad I want it.
I think I could do it, and this is an admission of how bad of shape I'm in. I think I could do it, but I think I would throw up.
Are we talking all out sprint, or are we talking about just running and making it around? Because if we're just running and jogging.
Okay, if you want to know about the event, like in actuality, the 400 and the 800 meter are considered the most difficult events because 400 is pretty much an all out sprint.
It's a quarter of a mile sprinting.
For Olympic athletes, it is pretty much an all-out sprint. I mean, obviously it compounds it, so they're not running like the same speed that the 100 meters is. But 400 meters is one of the most difficult events because it's so long. It is endurance sprinting, which is, obviously an oxymoron. I literally don't think either of these men get very close. Like, I don't know if they make it 200 meters before they're done.
I think they can do it. So, men 75 to 79 at the National Senior Games Association. The record is held by Bob Lita of Kansas at 1 minute and 4 seconds.
What? Who are these old people? Is this like Superman when he retires?
Well, they're Olympians.
Bob Lita holds the top 3 spaces, so he may just be a super athlete.
He probably does those Ironmans where they go and like run in the desert or whatever.
I'm thinking that Biden would do it in 3 minutes.
3 minutes? I still think that's generous. How far do we think he could run before he stops?
If this is the only thing he's doing in the day, okay, we got to start factoring this in.
Yeah, this is the end of the day.
This is the last event. He already in the day, he has run 100 meters, long jump, shot put, and he just finished falling off of the pad for the high jump. I don't think he's making it in 3 minutes.
He's hurting.
I think they're both going to get some negative points on this one.
I think Joe is 5, Trump's 8.
I'm going to give Joe 1 point and Trump no points.
What does Trump's hair look like during this? Is it like majestically blowing, or does it not move?
Oh, well, I think it's sweaty.
He's almost certainly got a headband on.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
He does have a head. What are these people wearing?
All right, this is an important topic that we need to discuss before we go to the moderator's office.
Okay, well, I think the first thing we have to establish is what is the inseam on the shorts? Biden is almost certainly going 4.5 inch inseam.
For sure. We're talking the runner shorts from Juno.
Yes, exactly.
Has Trump not worn a suit since he was 15 years old?
Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I think you're right. I don't think he's ever not worn a suit.
I've seen him in a polo.
Well, yeah, when he plays golf. But I think he's rocking the like 90s basketball shorts that are like down to your shin.
He had to like stop at the Walmart on the way to this event to have shorts.
See, this is what I picture for Trump. Navy blue cotton long shorts, a white polo shirt with an American flag on it tucked into his navy blue long cotton shorts, and he's wearing a MAGA
like the
hat.
outfit that Captain America wears in the 30s.
Yes, like this
when he's wimpy.
He has his button down, his polo shirt tucked into his cotton shorts. He's wearing his red hat. And he's definitely got wristbands on.
Oh yeah, wristbands, sweatbands. I think he also might have some like rec specs.
Oh, yes, he definitely wore rec specs.
All right, I'm giving Joe Biden 2 points and Trump 1 point for the 400 meters.
But I give Trump 30 points for that outfit.
I think we're going to have to add a fashion component.
We might. All right, that takes us to 5 events total. So what I think we should do is I think we should take a break and go to the mod office. But before we do that, Ryan, give us our updated point totals.
So Biden, we are at 347. And for Trump, we are at 221. So Biden has taken a pretty big lead because of the high jump failure.
All right. Well, I think that's a perfect time to take a break. So let's head to the mod office. And when we come back, we will wrap up this decathlon with the last 5 events.
I'm tired.
Me too.
This is the last week of October, which means the Christmas season is rapidly approaching. They're probably already playing Christmas music. People are already passing out Christmas candy, and someone's already asking for your Christmas list. The best place to go to figure out anything and everything you want this Christmas is Device Pit Stop. They're here to help you with all of your holiday shopping needs, and they have something for everyone on that list. Whether you're looking for a new phone, tablet, computer, or accessories, they are happy to help you out any way. Need some extra money for Christmas? They will gladly buy back gently used electronics and cell phones. They are able to assist you in any way to get that perfect gift for anyone on your list. Throughout the rest of the month, if you use the promo code TMIW, you'll be able to get 10% off that entire purchase. So head on over to www.devicepitstopky.com. Thanks again to Device Pit Stop for sponsoring this month. Once again, that website is www.devicepitstopky.com, and the promo code is TMIW.
We just want to again thank everybody for listening. I'll be really quick. The best thing that you can do for us is continue to share the show. Give us a rating. Follow us on all of our social medias at TMIWPod. Check out our website at TMIWPod.com or send us an email at TMIWPod@gmail.com. Interact with us. Tell us what you want to hear. Share the show with people you feel like will like the show. And we are so thankful for everyone that listens. Now back to the debate.
Okay, we got 5 more. Let's burn through these real quick.
We got to fly through these.
Okay, the next event is the 110-meter hurdle. Is there any world where Joe Biden or Donald Trump can clear a hurdle?
No. So here's what I think. I think that Donald Trump has too much pride to try and jump over a hurdle that he's not going to clear. I think they create special hurdles for this event. They're about 1.5 feet off the ground. and all they basically do is have to just barely jump over this tiny little hurdle.
I pictured Joe Biden trying to make the jump, and then I pictured Donald Trump knowing he couldn't make the jump, so he just truck sticks every hurdle and runs through them, and he thinks Biden's going to trip and fall. I'm going to just go and get there. And I think, honestly, he wins because of that. Because Joe is going to get too far behind trying to jump the hurdles because he does things the right way. He dadgummit, he follows those orders and those rules. Where Donald Trump thinks this is where I can win. He truck sticks every hurdle and wins the race because of it.
Now, we did already establish that we think Joe Biden's significantly faster. So even with that hurdle and that obstacle in front of Joe that Trump's just completely ignoring by destroying these little hurdles, is he still going to win even if he plays by the rules?
I feel like when he jumps, he's going to fall. And I think that little bit of falling is going to help Trump just get enough of a lead.
I think Joe has convinced me. I think because let's be honest, the getting his own hurdles made might happen, but not at this first decathlon. If these are the full, whatever they are, like 3 foot hurdles,
3.5 feet.
I think Joe's right. I think Joe Biden's going to try and jump him, and he's going to get tripped up. But Donald's just pushing him over.
He is hit sticking that the whole way down, and he's going to win this one in a surprising way. He's starting off day 2 with a banger.
So what do we think time-wise these men end up doing? Because we talked on the 100-meter that they were at like 18 seconds and 20 seconds or something like that.
No, I think this one takes Donald Trump 25 seconds, and because Joe falls and trips on top of a hurdle, it's going to take him a little bit to get up. I think he's in a 40-second range.
40 seconds?
Have you ever hit a hurdle? They don't feel good. It's going to hurt.
Well, I'm thinking more like 35.
Okay.
30.
I'd probably put Trump around the 30-second mark, 30 to 35-second mark, and then Joe probably around 40.
And when Trump wins, he's lifting that hurdle over his head and just taunting Joe with it.
Oh, I feel like he's picking it up and he's breaking it onto the track.
Yes.
Like he's just smashing it.
He is going into Hulk mode. He's hulking up right now. His arms are shaking. He's giving the pump to the crowd. This is Trump coming into his own.
If Biden starts clearing these things, he might speed up a little bit. But I do think they're both getting some points on this one. I feel like Biden probably gets about 200 points. I think Trump's getting 300.
I'm willing to throw Trump some points for style here because he had a strategy and he came out and executed it. I was thinking 4.
How about 350 for Trump?
I don't think you get points on style.
Listen, this is our decathlon.
Yes, we're making this up as we go. Thank you very much.
Well, 1,000 points is 13.8 seconds, and we're at over double that. So I think you're in the right ballpark. So I'll give it to you.
Okay. Biden at 250, Trump at 350.
Okay. The next event is the discus throw. So another strength competition.
Sort of, but it also has a little bit of skill. I can't throw a frisbee, for example, so I'd be terrible at this.
I would say this is a little bit less strength and a little bit more technical skill, like Josh is saying. It's something, where you have to, get all your footwork right and really get the angles right. I feel like it's something that's going to be something that Joe's going to really think through. He's going to make sure he has his technique down. And I think Joe's going to take this one. But I do feel like it'll take them a couple throws. Like I don't feel like either of them get it on the first throw. I think they usually throw 2 or 3. I don't know if that's correct or not.
My thing was I think Trump is prepared for today. He had an embarrassing day yesterday. Joe did well for him. I think he's ready for this, and he just hums it down the field.
I know throwing a frisbee and throwing a discus are not the same thing. However, I do think they have some of the same properties when it comes to throwing it straight. Now, if you were to ask me which of these men has thrown a frisbee in his life, it's definitely going to be Joe Biden. That man's probably played disc golf at some point, if I had to take a guess. So I think that Trump, without having the experience of throwing a frisbee or a discus, is going to launch this thing. He might throw it far, but he's going to throw it wide. Joe Biden's going to throw it straight.
You don't think he can straighten out in 3?
Nope. I think it's too hard to figure out. I could throw a Frisbee all day and I'm not throwing that dang thing straight once.
I think Trump gets a little turned around, and I think you're right. I think he throws it far. He chucks it, but he's not in the bounds because you have to throw it between the two yard things that they put out there. And so he may even throw it farther, but I think Joe's got the technique.
But I only think Joe's going to make it about 20, 25 feet, and Trump's probably going to make it like. Do you get the feet before it goes out of bounds, or are you just getting 0?
Nope, it has to land in the bounded area.
I think Trump's getting 0.
I think you're probably right. I think he throws it really like just double or triple what Joe does, but he's unable to keep it in bounds, and he just gets madder and madder every throw he gets. So they go farther, but they're worse every time he throws it.
Yep. Or he even throws it into the cage behind him. Okay, so let's say 41 meters. Good Lord, that's like 120 feet.
I think Joe throws it maybe 20 meters.
50 feet?
20, 25 meters.
60 feet. 20 meters would be about what, 350 points? So
20 meters would be 60 feet. Do we think he can throw a disc 60 feet?
I don't think so. Maybe
15 meters?
15 meters sounds.
What is that?
Sounds
45
feet. So that would be about again 250, and I think Trump's getting 0.
Yep. Now I do think
Biden has taken a pretty good lead here.
he is. Now the pole vault.
I don't even know we need to talk about this one. I think they're both getting 0.
Do we think Biden makes it to the end of the runway with still standing with the pole in his hand?
I think he does, but he's not going to be able to get it into the little holder there to get himself over.
I think this is a DQ on both. I don't think they get the pole in the ground.
I picture Biden running, the pole getting heavy, the pole digging into the ground before he gets there, and he just sticks, and he's just stuck there with the pole in his hand.
Or he might even. I feel like this is the injury event. This is where the injuries happen. I honestly think. I actually think Trump not really known for his self-awareness, but I think both of these guys might be like, you know what, I'm going to take the 0.
We're out.
Well, yeah, if Biden doesn't do it, he's not going to do it because he doesn't want to.
So I honestly, I think we move on from the pole vault and we go straight to the javelin.
I do think that Trump would be able to do this one.
I think this one's not close. I think this is Trump's second best event.
So it's 57 meters is the lowest point on the Olympic decathlon. Do we think he breaks 100 feet?
Maybe.
No.
That's 150 feet.
So just for perspective, I've gone back to the National Senior Games Association, and men 75 to 79. The record is held by Ross Aragon from New Mexico, who threw it 130 feet 7 inches in 2013. 10th place all time is E. Lee Todd from Nebraska, who threw it 109 feet and 2 inches. So getting 100 is going to be a challenge.
I think Trump can throw it 100
70?
feet.
I think no. I think he's going to get.
But if you think about when you watch these people throw these javelin, they put their entire body into it and throw with their momentum. Trump's got a lot of momentum to throw behind him.
He's using that inertia again.
Here's what we're not thinking about. I'm going, and I don't think this will be the popular opinion, and I think we'll go with what you all say, but there's a chance they both get 0 because they just spike them directly into each other's chests before they can even get this one off.
So you think that instead of a javelin throw, it becomes javelin combat?
Yes. I think that
Who wins that?
Well, I think we might have to throw in a bonus round of the Greco-Roman combat.
Yes. Yeah. At the end. Okay.
I think
Josh, let's assume they don't kill each other.
Okay.
I think Trump wins this. And he doubles Joe Biden.
I would agree. I think Trump gets it much farther.
I agree.
Do you think throw 80 feet?
I think 80 feet.
80.
All right.
Sounds
so that's
good.
a little under 30 meters, 27 meters.
Half. So probably 3, let's call it 350.
Do we think Joe can throw it farther than 20 feet? Because
I think Joe can still get it. He's not super short. I mean, I think he's like 5'8" or 5'9".
How long is a javelin?
Pretty long. I'm gonna give him 100 points. I feel like he gets it. There you go. I feel like he gets it at least 60 feet.
The javelin's
50 feet.
2.6 to 2.7 meters long.
So it's almost 7 feet long.
See, I think he's going to struggle to run with that. He's so tiny.
He's 6 feet tall. He's taller than you.
But I'm tiny, not tall, tiny.
I think he would be able to certainly get it more than 20 feet, but I think he's probably going to do a half to maybe 2/3 of what Trump does.
I think half is being generous. I think half is being generous because even if he gets it going,
let's call it 100 points to Trump's 350. I think that's about right compared to what the points I'm seeing here.
Okay, and the last event. The 1,500 meter run. So 1 mile, as Ryan said. Do we think they finish?
No.
There's no way Trump can finish a mile in any amount of time.
We're competing in non-COVID times. So I think this is in front of a packed stadium. This is the last event. I don't have the score right in front of me, but to me, it looks like they are very close now after Trump's great javelin throw. With the crowd behind him, if the crowd's not fighting with each other, do you think the crowd could will one of these men to victory?
I don't think that there is any world where Donald Trump finishes running a mile in any time that would be nearly as close as Joe Biden's. Now, I don't think Joe by any means is going to blow us away with his time, but I think he could at the very least finish while Trump will be struggling to do so, especially at the end of a long day. Listen, I'm a big boy. Hauling this much ass around a track 4 times is a chore.
You also have to remember today that they have done the 110 meter hurdles, and then they DQ'd out of the pole vault, but the discus throw and the javelin throw. So not as strenuous of a day, as the day before. But this is the second day. They're sore. But I have to agree with Josh. I just don't think there's a world that Trump finishes a mile in any amount of time close to Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden can walk a mile in less than 10 minutes. He may not, I don't know that he ever runs it.
I don't know about that. Now, the men, going back to the National Senior Games Association.
I mean, these are going to be 5-minute times.
The number one of all time for 75 to 79 was 5 minutes and 59 seconds by Kent Blair from New Mexico. 10th place was Gordon Johnson from Florida with 6 minutes and 17 seconds. So I contend that Joe Biden, even if he walked his fastest, couldn't do it in 10 minutes walking. But I think he can jog it in 10 minutes. I think he's going to do the mile in 18 minutes.
I feel like he can finish it. I'm going to say 12 is the max for Joe. Trump, there's not a number. I think this is where Biden wins.
Let's say hypothetically they have to finish. How long is it taking Trump?
Half hour?
I mean, 25 minutes.
30 minutes?
Here's the thing, guys. I think Biden's going to be struggling after this. After the 110 meter hurdle where he fell on the hurdle, the discus throw, the pole vault he couldn't do, and then the javelin throw, trying to throw that long, heavy javelin. I think it took it out of him. I do think he wins, but I don't know that he wins in 18 minutes. I think he's going to run. He's going to try. In his mind, I think Joe Biden thinks, I'm a better athlete.
4 laps around the track.
I'm a better athlete. I can get out and beat Trump. And he's going to try to go as hard as he can and then peter out real quickly.
Here's the thing. All right. We talked about this early on with the tripping. They're going to be passing each other. I mean, either way, they're going to be near each other on this one. I mean, either if Joe's lapping him or, whatever, they're going to be crossing each other. Do we think some dirty play comes in
100%
for this mile?
They're moving in front of each other.
Because if that's the case and they're in front of these fans, I feel like we might have to factor that in.
I think they're going to try to do some dirty play, but they're both going to be too tired that they do that thing where they try their best, but they just give up. I think we're beyond the dirty play portion of this thing. I think they're just trying their best to finish.
All right. So I just don't see.
I think Biden finishes in 20 minutes and Trump finishes in 27.
I think that's probably pretty accurate.
I just think Biden's just
I still think
after
Biden,
today.
If he's not injured, I still think Biden can do this a little bit quicker than you guys are giving him credit for. But all right. So by our calculations, this would mean that Biden is in the lead by at least 100 points, it looks like. So then I think we have a surprise bonus round, and we throw these two in the ring. We grease them up, and
Do we
it's
have to grease them
Greco-Roman
up?
wrestling.
What is? Yes, we
That
do.
is part of
Josh,
it.
they have to come out with wet, long hair,
They have to be glistening.
slick back. They need to come out sweating for some reason. What is the
No
what is
shirts.
the ring attire? I pictured Donald Trump very similar to Otis from Heavy Machinery in the WWE currently. He wears a brief,
No,
but he
is
thinks
not.
he looks good. He
No.
thinks he looks good.
No, he's wearing a full suit.
He's wrestling in a suit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
going.
it's like a silk suit.
Does he
He's
take
going
the
full
jacket
Ted
off?
DiBiase, but not the trunks under it. He's just going to keep the suit on.
Does he take the jacket off to wrestle, or does he wrestle in the jacket?
It wrestles in the
I
jacket.
think he wrestles in the
Okay.
jacket.
Best
All right,
case
okay.
scenario, he wears his golf attire. Now, Biden, on the other hand, is wearing the little skinny
Shirtless.
trunks. Shirtless, skinny trunks. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I pictured Biden in like the wrestling unitard, high school wrestling unitard. I pictured him with the straps.
I was thinking MMA, and we find out that Joe Biden has a bunch of tattoos.
What does he have tattoos of?
I think he's got all of his kids' names right across his chest. Earned, not given, right across the chest.
And he has a rose tattooed somewhere on his body. Just a single rose.
A rose. Yeah, from the 80s.
So I think the ultimate question is, which old man's going to kick some ass?
I mean, this is Trump.
I think this is Trump. And also, he's been in the WWE.
He did wrestle. He did
wrestle. He does have experience in the WWE. However, this is real fighting. This is Greco-Roman wrestling.
Well, and then we're also talking about Joe's favorite topic, inertia.
Are they in a riddle circle like they do in wrestling events? Or we put them in a ring?
No, they're in a
I think
circle.
we put him in a ring.
If we're talking real wrestling, they're going to be in a circle.
I think
That's
I
true.
think they're in a circle. So Joe doesn't have anywhere to run. So Joe's only hope is to like jump on Donald's back and put him in like a sleeper hold.
See, if I'm Joe, my strategy is wear him out. You gotta try it. You gotta Floyd Mayweather. You gotta avoid him. So are we saying that after all this, Joe's in the lead, we get to the end, Donald Trump takes him down, gets the tap out. So who wins? How many points are we giving this Greco-Roman round?
How quickly do we think Donald Trump beats Joe Biden in wrestling? There's nowhere to go. That circle's like 10 feet. I think it's quick.
I think it might be quick.
I think
it's quick.
Donald Trump body slams him like Trump Samoan just goes and straight body slams him
And
just
we
as
know
soon as he
Donald Trump
can.
ain't afraid to do anything.
And that's why I think Donald Trump's win these Olympics. He does not lose. He does not like to lose. And he's proven he's going to do whatever it takes to win.
So
no
I think
matter
he
what.
definitely wins the Greco-Roman.
Are we doing out of 1,000 points?
we can. But I was gonna say, but I don't think we can give him enough points to put him in the lead. So I think what we end up with is we go through all these events, we get to the end, and then we take it to the Electoral College.
Well, I guess we didn't accomplish anything in this hour then.
So what we're saying is, please go vote.
Yes, go vote. We've had some fun here. This is different than we've done in the past. If you like it, let us know. If you don't, let us know. We're just trying some new things, seeing what sticks. But definitely had fun tonight. I hope you all did too.
I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. We promise we're done with our election episodes. We just had to get some silliness out of our
We
systems.
only get to
about
do
these.
this once every 4 years.
I was gonna say,
we're not doing this for the midterms.
No, and guys, holiday stuff is rapidly approaching. Holiday episodes, so get excited. We've got some good ones.
Exactly. Prepare yourselves because we all three love the holidays so much.
I don't mean to dive headfirst into our housekeeping here at the end, but we've got great holiday topics coming up. We
Some
may or
really
may
good
not
ones.
have taken some really cool photos the other day where we look sexy as all hell. We may or may not have some cool rebranding coming up. We've got a lot of things down the pipe that's really going to take this up to another level. So keep with us. Hang in there.
I think November is going to be a big month for us. And so we hope that you agree and continue to share the show. I do need to thank, as always, our banging theme song from I'll Elevate, Jean Jacket. And also right here, I wanted to mention we have a friend of the show, Elizabeth Varnado, and that is spelled Varnado. She just came out with an EP. It is on Spotify. The title of the EP is Elizr, Elizr. And just go check her out. Give her a listen. She's got some great music. She's a great songwriter and honestly just an overall great person.
And
so go and
that
check her
EP,
out.
Coming from the resident music snob on this podcast, is very good. My favorite song is Fear. Love it. Elizabeth killed it. Please check it out.
Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at TMIWPod. Use that hashtag TMIWPod as well to send us your debate topics or any comments on the debate. As soon as you finish this episode, though, head on over and subscribe, rate us 5 stars. That really helps us to rise in the charts and helps get our show in front of more people. Speaking of getting in front of more people, the best thing you could do to help us out is just tell a friend, let them know, see what they think about Joe Biden versus Donald Trump at an Olympic decathlon. Yes, I just said that. It's ridiculous. But tell one friend. It'll help us more, Thank you so much.
And you can also head over to tmiwpod.com. Over there, we've got lots of great resources for you to get connected with us. And also, that is now the official home to all of the records for the National Senior Games Association. We recently made a deal with them. We are hosting those records on there, and you can check those out there. And before we go, look, we already touched on it, and I know you're sick and tired of hearing on it, about it, but just please go vote. Please participate in the election if you're in the U.S. That way you can't complain about whatever happens. And also because it's good for the soul. So go do that. And we would appreciate it. America would appreciate it. And while you're there, you're not supposed to, promote any specific candidate. So just promote the pod and wear some of our merch while you're at the polling location. That'll help us out a ton.
If you will promote our show at a polling location, we will send you merch. And that is a serious thing. Take a picture, send it to us. We will send you merch. We again want to say thank you to Device Pit Stop for their investment in the show. Make sure you use the promo code TMIW. As always, there is one winner, and there's going to be a winner very soon. So please go invest in that winner. But we're definitely all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the wetwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Go vote.